Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. And how do you do? It ain't there yet, but good morning. Praise my God who touched me with the gift of life this morning and said, Rise, Edwina. Even if you can't put both arms up, put one up and say, Thank you. I give you the honor, the praise, the glory, the hallelujah, the worship, but most importantly, the acknowledgement. I am Edwina B, as you know, and am known as Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Now, I put these dentures in a little earlier. Hopefully, they won't drop. But if they do, they are dropped like it's hot, and I put them on the table so they don't pop. Oh, well, what can I say? This is the beauty of being authentic and transparent. When you realize who you are and whose you are, and realize that it was and is spiritual principles and resources that has me adjusting my attitude in all situations by applying spiritual principles, tools, resources to all earthly matters. When I do that and continue to do that, like I've been for 34 plus years, I'm happy. I'm free from recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Am I giving you hope? Am I giving you hope? Huh? Don't you want to learn how to be you? Do you even know who you are? Or are you who they say you are? I know who I am and I know whose I am because my God said, Edwina, I chose you. Many are called, but few are chosen. So, welcome to the Free to Hope. And let me get it right off the back what I need y'all to do. I need you to mark your calendars for my upcoming master's class, right? Okay. And it's going to be on Thursday night. It's going to be in person as well as Zoom. The date is Thursday, June the 20th from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. or Saturday, June the 22nd from 10 to 11:30 a.m. The theme is I'm so tired of being broken and broke. Spiritual tools and resources, principles will lead to an unlimited amount of spiritual breakthroughs. Can you imagine me being the same way all the time? Why? It's because I am in love with this journey called life. I am in love with this gift that I've been given. I didn't choose me. My God chose me, my spirit, and this vessel, and everything else. He even chose my family, my siblings. I choose my friends, but He chose my family. And so that means there must be something I must learn from each and every one of them. And if I have crossed your path and you have crossed my path, then there's something that our spirits need to address, resolve, acknowledge, embrace. I don't know, stay away from. I just love life. I tell you, listen, I'm not in as much pain as I was with this arm, but each day it gets better. Each day I go through different phases of it. If I go to grab something, pull something, I am easily reminded, no, 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 don't do that. So I've learned to listen to my body. No longer hear, I learned to listen. And that's what the 5 agreements from the Louise family talks about. Be impeccable with your word. I'm happy. Yes. And I hope that you can become happy too. I'm not going to listen, I'm a practice not taking anything personally, whether it be to give me kudos or to give me constructive feedback. Either one, I'm not going to take personally because that is your view, that is your opinion, and it has nothing to do with me, right? I'm also going to practice not making any assumptions. Oh my God. It's amazing how instinctually we just assume da 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 da, don't have any of the information, making judgments, making critical decisions, and we don't have all the information. When I say all, his word, her word, and the word, right? So I thank God that I practice not making assumptions. I've learned to ask questions. And as you know, if you know anything about me, I'm always going to do my best. Always going to do my best. Practice, always doing my best. I need to keep that word practice in there, right? I'm going to practice always doing my best. And then I'm going to practice to be skeptical, but I'm going to learn to listen. I'm going to learn to listen what I'm saying to myself, what I'm saying to others, right? Be skeptical, because the Louise family says it's all an illusion. It's all about being domesticated. It's all about unlearning what you learned to learn something new. And guess what? To make your heaven here on earth, like me. I'm enjoying it. Oh, yes, yes, yes. With all and everything inclusive. All works for the good, those who love the God that I now serve. Oh, yes, I'm in love with my God. I'm in love with recovery. I love Edwina today. Edwina, you found out that there's nothing wrong with you. I'm so happy for that, because I thought something was wrong with me. Underneath a parked car 34 years ago, getting high with my own stepson, doing all kind of sexual things with my own stepson, robbed dead bodies, stepped over dead bodies, had an abortion as a prostitute, right? Passed around like a bucket, spit on, called all kinds of names. Oh my God, what is wrong with you, Edwina? But through that call, at my knee-bowing experience, I hollered out, whoever they say you are, take me out this life now, or show me a better way. And so I know that I need to find out what happened to me, because ain't a darn thing wrong with me. Oh my God. So let's get into our topic today. Let me put my glasses on. Listen, I need y'all to know, I'm going to make this announcement, and I'm going to spread the word around, okay? I now am the program director for an organization called Divine Light. Divine Light. You know, when I was in Philadelphia, and I've been doing workshops and seminars as a trainer, facilitator, presenter, all around, the country, basically, particularly when I go to conventions of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and my business conferences and all. I generally speak in one way, shape, form, or fashion. And so in Philadelphia, I'm trying to remember how I was introduced to Miss Sakina Dean of Divine Light. And I'll recall, and I'll even ask her, how did we first meet? But the fact that we did meet, and she asked if I could come and do some workshops for the women that she housed at one of her facilities in Philadelphia. And so I said, sure. And once she gave me the address and whatnot, and when I saw the name and I saw the pamphlet, it said Divine Light. Divine Light. Divine Light. I don't know about you, but when things like that happen and things like that are shown to me, my spirit connects. Divine Light, right? And so in my 12-step recovery program of Alcoholics Anonymous, spiritual principles, spiritual traditions, spiritual concepts within a spiritual fellowship. We need divine intervention. We need divine providence. Ooh, divine light. Oh, I see a connection there. So I was already doing spiritually with divine light, right? And so as I began to do my series of seminars and workshops for the staff as well as the clients, but we call them family. So as well as our family members, because I used to be one of them as well, okay? And so as a result of doing that, Divine Light has had at that time about 10 transitional houses in Philadelphia in addition to the facility. And again, I would go around and do the different workshops. And then she asked if I had others, a staff of other workshop presenters, trainers, facilitators that I could bring to the facility so that we can train more of our family members. And I did. And so I think I had a staff about maybe 7 or 8. And so throughout Philadelphia during that time, we impacted the lives, those transitioning from homelessness, suffering from co-occurring disorders of mental illness and or drug addiction, and we made an impact. And so it was divine light again when things turned around in Philadelphia due to the political arena. Miss Sakina Dean moved her operations to Baltimore, Maryland. And if you saw in the newspaper that they said Baltimore is either largest, the third largest city that's plagued by fentanyl overdoses, right? And it's amazing that Miss Sakina Dean went down to Baltimore maybe about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and she was a adamant supporter with the LGBTQ2 population, as she was in Philly too. But again, inclusion. And so when she went to Baltimore, Maryland, she set up shop there, got a facility, and began to recruit those who are in need of treatment for co occurring disorders. And so let it be known that a few years I had not been in contact with her, but I always would contact her and say, if you need me, call me. And so one day, a couple years ago, I was laying in my bed and I get a call from Miss Sakina Dean. Miss Edwina, I need you. Miss Edwina, I need you. I said, what is it, Sakina? What do you need, baby? And she said, Miss Edwina, I need you to come down to Baltimore. I need you to do those workshops again. I need you to touch our family members. And I just need you. I just need you, Miss Edwina. I said, okay, Sakina, when do you need me? She said, Monday. I said, oh, today's Friday. You need me Monday? She said, yeah. You and your people, you and your staff. I said, okay, Sakina, listen, I'm going to do what I can do. But if I don't get my staff together, you know who will be there. I will be there. And that's how I yield to the spirit when divine light calls me, when Miss Sakina Dean calls me. I yield to the spirit because I know her heart. I know she cares. And I know that when she calls on me, she needs me yesterday. And so, once again, I ride back and forth to Baltimore, Maryland, and do the workshops for our family, right? Talk with the counselors, bring them a load of clothes and appliances and anything and everything that they need. And then she said, well, I need a couple more of your staff. So I was able to recruit some of my staff. And we would go back and forth to Baltimore 4 to 5 days a week to administer workshops. And so, that worked out fine. And then she called and asked if I wanted to. She said she needed me. There was some type of transition with the staff, right? And so when I went down there and I talked to the then program director, right? He wanted to offer me a job. They wanted to offer me a position. And I said, no, no, no. I'm retired. I don't mind coming doing workshops, but I ain't doing no 9 to 5 for nobody but God, right? And so then when they told me what the position was, and I said, I'll listen, right? And then when I met with the HR person and we talked a little further, and when she said something, I turned around and said, you talking to me? Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Thank you, but I can't do that. And no problem. And so I yielded and I brought myself back here to Wilmington, Delaware. And they filled that position, believe it or not, because one thing I've learned, I don't have to settle anymore. And the other thing I've learned, I know my value as well. I know what I bring to the table. And so even though it is not totally about the money, but the money plays a big part, particularly when you're traveling back and forth, particularly when you need to work on your time management. So my time is valuable to me, right? As Dr. Sonia would say, no more free 99s, right? I did that for the past 34 years. I do it when I want to, but at the same time, I need to prepare myself, right? Dr. Sonia said, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, let a wealthy family come from you. So I'm preparing my wealth for my grandchildren and great grandchildren, okay? So anyway, I came back to Wilmington, Delaware, and, messed around. And I did work with Miss Dean on finding them housing, transitional houses, recovery houses in Wilmington, Delaware, under the leadership of the late Melvin Stokes. I want to say, Melvin, thank you for paving the way. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for being so mean and stubborn sometimes. But I knew you loved your family and you loved your people. So I'm not mad at you. But anyway, I was retained by him to find some houses, and I was able to find, when they came to Wilmington, Delaware. So now she left Philly, but left a little hub there. Went to Baltimore. She has three facilities in Baltimore. I think she's down to 17 houses where she used to have 27, and now the facilities that God blessed her with, she's able to house more of our family members. Okay. So then a few years ago, she wanted to plant the seed in Wilmington, Delaware, and she did. And so, as a result of me working with them to find them housing, getting them connected, recruiting family members with co occurring disorders to attend their inpatient and IOP program treatment center, then that's how I started working for them here in Wilmington. Now, as I've said, I am a person who will give my heart because I care. I'm also a person who is transparent and authentic because that's the way to be. I'm also a person who practice asking questions and not making assumptions, right? I'm still working on my character defects that were discovered in my inventory in step 4, but I also need to let y'all know I have no secrets, right? And I am aware of my character defects, and that's why sometimes I can ask myself, Edwina, is what you want to say, what you want to do, is what you want to ask, is it going to feed the flesh or is it going to feed the spirit? Because I don't want to give anything or anybody that much power ever again to put me back underneath that parked car, make me go back to drugs, make me go back to prostitution. Oh, hell to the no. And that's why these 12 spiritual principles and tools and resources help identify my brokenness and being broke. Okay, so back to divine light. Now, unfortunately, Melvin Stokes was very, very sickly, and he passed away in December. And they were left without a director at the facility here at 1016 Delaware Avenue for a short period of time. And so the staff there has been great in keeping the doors open, providing the services, and making sure that our family members get the help that they need. And so after a while, I was approached again by Miss Sakina Dean because of the gap in services as it relates to the director's position, applying for grants, completing the recertification, uh, addressing the corrective action plan. And I want to thank Miss Sheila Walker, right? She's a LCSW. She was brought back because originally she was the clinical supervisor, and they brought her back during the interim until they find a director. And I definitely want to give my kudos to her. She did an awesome job and is doing an awesome job. But unfortunately, her last day is May the 31st. And so I was then brought on as the program director. I think this is the beginning of my 4th week, right? I'm so excited. And I just thank God that when divine light calls through Miss Sakina Dean and now Miss Cecilia Velasquez, right? Sakina even brought her out of retirement, right? So Cecilia and I, we are the new kids on the block. But guess what? We are making an impact. You know why? Because we care. Because we care. And so now I need to build my team. I need a LCSW, licensed clinical social worker. I'm also going to be needing, right, a medication coordinator. I'm also going to be hiring some housing managers, right? I'm going to be hiring an intake person, a case manager, right? As we build, reconstruct, reorganize Divine Light here in Wilmington, Delaware, based on the vision of Miss Dean and based on my passion and Cecilia's passion to get the job done. She is surrounded by some strong, spiritual, powerful women. Yes, she is. And this is the hit, y'all. She's not even one of us. Goes to show you how big her heart is. Her husband was one of us who died, and she saw the benefit of him helping other people who suffer from co-occurring disorders, and she took the torch and kept the fire burning. So that's why I am connected to Divine Light, Miss Sakina Dean, because of her vision, her passion, and most importantly, because she cares. So if you are a LCSW or equivalent, got to be licensed with the Delaware State Board, okay, and you have experience, please inbox me, call me, email me, all right, and so that I can hook you up and be a part of the family. Okay, so with that being said, I only got a few minutes to talk about the subject, which is a good thing, all right? So I told y'all about the upcoming event. And so let's go to the reading today, right? And this is very powerful because it really talks about inclusion and not exclusion when it comes to people in recovery and those yet to come. All right. So the daily reflection says equal rights. And this is from AA Tradition, How It Developed, pages 11 through 12. And the co-founder writes, at one time or another, AA groups go on rule-making benders. After a time, fear and intolerance subside, and we realize we do not wish to deny anyone his chance to recover from alcoholism. We wish to be just as inclusive as we can, never exclusive, okay? And the person in recovery shares their experience. AA offered me complete freedom and accepted me into the fellowship for myself. Membership did not depend upon conformity, financial success, or education, and I am so grateful for that. I often ask myself if I extend the same equality to others or if I deny them the freedom to be different. Today, I try to replace my fear and intolerance with faith, patience, love, and acceptance. I can bring these strengths to my AA group, my home, and my office. I make an effort to bring my positive attitude everywhere that I go. I have neither the right nor the responsibility to judge others, I have neither the right nor the responsibility to judge others. Depending on my attitude, I can view newcomers to AA, family members, and friends as menaces or as teachers. When I think of some of my past judgments, it is clear how my self-righteousness caused me spiritual harm. Woo, woo, woo. Y'all ready to dissect this baby? Now, if you remember what my free to hope thing is, right? My motto. Free from recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others. Help others prosper equally. Huh? Equally. Equal rights. Everybody. Any and all people, because our literature says all human beings are ill to some extent. So why would I want to refuse or deny anyone who needs help from alcoholism and its related attitudes, ideas, and behaviors? Okay. So here it goes and says, at one time or another, most AA groups go on rule making benders. Okay. And so I'm just gonna nip it in the bud. When the AA fellowship first started, it learned from the two previous movements, the Oxford group and the Washingtonians, and there were rules. Who can, who can't, who will, who won't. Yeah, now it was a secret society for white, rich, educated men who couldn't stop drinking. Okay. And so as the AA fellowship began to learn from their demise, they found out that, listen, every one of us who suffers from the disease of alcoholism needs the same opportunity that we have, and it's free. Okay. And so all those rules was, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking, right? All right. So he goes on to say, right? It says here, after a time, fear and intolerance subside, right? So that means that whatever they were afraid of, getting their names out there, getting their reputations, followed by a whole lot of gossip. Listen, it was about fear and about image, but guess what? None of that could keep them sober. So the fear and intolerance subsided, and all of those rules and regulations came down to one. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. And doing the research, it had in there an honest desire to stop drinking, right? And we went around the table and said, well, who can measure any one degree of honesty? So they took the word and honest out, right? Just have a desire to stop drinking, okay? Then he goes on to say, right, we do not wish to deny anyone his chance to recover from alcoholism. We wish to be just as inclusive as we can, never exclusive. Oh, my. Listen, because of the world we live in, we know people, even you, me, still have some prejudices within us, okay? Just by being domesticated, as the Louise family talked about, right? We understand that. And we also understand how those illnesses contributed to our brokenness and being broke. And so when I learned about this God that created any and all things, right? He's inclusive. He's not exclusive. He doesn't exclude anything or anybody. Why? Because he created everything. That makes sense to me. So why should we? Okay. I ain't got but a couple minutes. Okay. So then the person in recovery, he says, right? AA offered me complete freedom and accepted me into the fellowship for myself. AA offered me complete freedom and accepted me for myself into the fellowship. Now, like, if you're anything like me, I got to do this before I got to do that. Oh, I can't qualify because no. Come to me as you are. Broken, desperate, right? Humiliated, right? Hurting, painful. What? Come to me just the way you are. And let this spiritual fellowship with these spiritual principles and tools help you with your brokenness and being broke. But are you willing? Have you had your knee bowing experience? Or hitting bottom, as they say? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And once you get onto the spiritual pathway, the spiritual student becomes ready and the spiritual teachers continue to appear. But to be accepted as myself into a spiritual fellowship, wow, I've been waiting for something like this all my life. All right, so let's go. Then he says something to the point where membership did not depend upon conformity, financial success, or education. And I am so grateful for that. Now, in our fellowship, you got the highs, the lows, the middles, the ends, the open, the closed, any and everybody. Inclusivity, right? Everyone is included, not excluded. Okay? All right, so then he goes on to say, because y'all see that? The common denominator is our alcoholism, right? Is our alcoholism. And our common solution are the 12 spiritual principles that we share with others in recovery, okay? And so let me finish, all right? Then it says here, I often ask myself if I extend the same equality to others or if I deny the freedom to be different, right? Let me read that again. I often ask myself if I extend the same equality to others or if I deny them the freedom to be different. All right. And so this is where we practice tolerance and we practice patience, because all of us are human beings and we're all of a different spirit, right? And we're all encased in this vessel. Okay. So how can I deny anybody with the disease of alcoholism, right, from getting the help that I needed, right? And so what was freely given to me, I freely give to others. Okay. So let's go to the next one. And he says here, right? Today, I try to replace my fear and intolerance with faith, patience, love, and acceptance. I can bring these strengths to my AA group, my home, and my office. I make an effort to bring my positive attitude everywhere I go. Yes, Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. I am the same yesterday, today, and will be tomorrow, because that's how my God is, right? And so if I am made in his image, I have a positive spiritual attitude about this gift called life. And so, because of these spiritual principles that I know and have been using, I want to share them with you so that you too can have this cuckoo for Cocoa Pops attitude. I don't know. What's you is you and what's me is me. Okay. All right. So let me get. I got to go. And then the last thing that is said, right? It says, I have neither the right nor the responsibility to judge others. Depending on my attitude, I can view newcomers to AA, family members, and friends as ministers or as teachers, right? When I think of some of my past judgments, it is clear how my self-righteousness caused me spiritual harm. Guess what, y'all? Free me from recovery, emerge empowered, so that you can give hope to others, help others prosper equally, so that you too can find out how your brokenness and being broke has made your life miserable, unsuccessful, right? Not purposeful, but how using these spiritual tools, resources, and principles can lead you to an unlimited amount of spiritual breakthroughs. Listen, in my addiction, the more I got, the more I want. In recovery, the more I get, the more I want. Using my church affiliation, Canaan Baptist Church, right, with my pastor, Dr. Christopher Allen Bullock, and my first lady, Dr. Debbie Bullock. Yes, yes, yes. And the spiritual revival hour gospel songs by the late Benjamin Twimby Brown. Yes, by the Five Agreements by the Uwees family, right? And my journal that I kept the first 4 years in recovery. Those are all spiritual tools and resources and principles. And last but not least, the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonia of P3 Global. So see, I've been prepared to sit before you, to be as authentic and transparent as possible, to be loving and caring as I am, and to practice loving you unconditionally. I love me today. I love my God today. And I'm going to end by saying, I love you. You love me. We are one big old family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? You love me? You love me? Do you love me? You love me. I know. I know you know, I know you know, I know you know. I know he does, and he loves you too. If it's God's choice that we are asked to rise tomorrow morning, I'll be here. And if it's God's will, you will be too. In the meantime, be of service to others. Help set others free and give others hope. From recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others. Help others prosper equally. Be blessed. Lord, I love you. I love you.